Hi there, welcome to Black and White. My name is Tony Loop. I want to make this, I'm trying to reduce the size of all my videos. I talk too much. But I recently, as I stated in the previous one, I recently ran into somebody. And this person we used to debate and have all these great discussions. And they had a friend. And one day I had a debate with this person. We had this discussion. And it was about race. And I hope people don't think this black and white thing is about race. I mean, obviously, racism was rampant around the world. There's no doubt about that. But obviously, me being, bald and tattoos, and it could be easily mistaken. But what this person, I don't remember how it ended up like this, but they asked me the question, how do I know what it's like to be a black man? They said, do you know what it's like? I think I said, yes. I know what it's like to be a black man. They said, how do you know what it's like to be a black man? Point one is that it's either Plato or Aristotle, Socrates. I believe there was might have been one of the Asian philosophers. There was some discussion about a fish in water, and the student said, how do you know what it's like to be a fish? How do you know what it's like to be a fish in water? And the philosopher said, well, the basic thought that you in your question implies that I know. When you ask me how I know, it means you already believe I do know. But when we push aside the games of logic or dialogue, his implication was, how do I know what it's like to live the life of someone who is African American? And the basic response I would have, even at this point, would be that I don't even remember what the response was at that time, but now I would say, how is it you define yourself as an African American? Is the question, because if you look at it, everyone in society, irrelevant of their own actual race, how do I know what it's like to be a gymnast? Okay, well, I'm not a gymnast, so I don't really know that. Do I know what it's like to, actively participate in sports? Yeah, okay, I know that. So there is some commonality. And, for example, when you talk about what his point was, I believe, was primarily about discrimination. And I know that I've been discriminated against, sure. I said it before. And again, I'm not a good Muslim. I'm not. I believe in some of the bigger picture type of things, and again, I find it closest to certain ideals that I have. But so, what it means is that I say that, and people do look at you different. And you know what? Even after saying it, I'm no different now than I was 10 years ago. But people look at you different. And the same thing with being the bald white guy. People look at me and they're like, I remember the first time I shaved my head. And I ran into someone I hadn't seen before. And they look at me like, oh, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they thought like I joined a skinhead movement or something. And, and then I have tattoos. So people see those. Automatically, they start to assume like I'm a criminal. Or you wear the hoodie and you walk down the street. And, I've had people lock their doors when I walk by their car. It's not. That's not indicative of who it's discrimination. I've been discriminated against. The second question is do you define yourself as this gentleman? Discussing the role of an African American, and do I understand what it's like to walk down the street and have people look at you differently because of your race? I tell you, I've been to Kenya. I've been in a very large group of people, and I was like the only white guy there. And I can tell you that it is a little, and I'm not just honestly, I think as human beings, when we stand out so differently, people look, okay, because it's not normal. If there's a green alien on the corner, people are going to look, right? Because it's different. You don't see it every day. It's right there. It's like, oh, that's different. And it's like the car accident. We look. But being the person looked at is disconcerting. You're looking and you start thinking, wow, all these people are looking at me. Why, and you're like, gee, what is wrong with me? So I know how that feels. It's not a good feeling. It's not. It's not like you're up on the stage doing something great and people are applauding for you. You're in the middle of a normal situation where normally people wouldn't give you, shouldn't give you the time of day, but everybody is looking at you. And some people are pointing. So you got to start wondering. So I think it comes down to, so do I understand, can I possibly ever know what it's like to be 24-year-old black male, Catholic who just got out of prison, who, I don't know. We could add, who had no father growing up, or who had a father, no mother, or who lived in the suburbs and likes country music. Okay. That particular person, chances are, I cannot say I have walked in that role. All right. But can I empathize with a lot of characteristics of other people? Sure. And I think that we can actually begin as a society to try and look at what we have in common. And if we find, because it's real easy to pick apart the differences. It's like the books we give to the kids. And maybe we're not still doing that, I don't know. But, find the different person. Okay, find the object that's different. How about, find the objects that are similar. Okay? And when you find, and then you find, all right, so maybe, we all like football. We all love boxing. Or maybe it's MMA. Maybe, we like running. Maybe we all like Run DMC. Okay? Maybe we all like, I'm trying to think of a country western singer. I don't like country music. Kenny Rogers. Okay, Hank Williams Jr. They got some good stuff. Charlie Daniels. All right. So see, I do like some country music, and so I can empathize and I can associate with people who like country music. So anyway, I think as a society we can develop this commonality. So to get back to this, and again, I'm trying to open up this dialogue, is to look, how are we looking at our society? How do we define ourselves as people? And does that definition mean that we are now against other people, or that somehow we're being persecuted? So we need to look at the labels and our own definitions of ourselves, and how we interact with our society. I hope that's a question. I hope that might open up some dialogue. That's black and white for today, this episode. Thank you.